Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining Green Business Owner today for our webinar on crafting an effective elevator pitch for a small green business. The webinar will be presented by Scott Cooney, principal of greenbusinessowner.com. Before we begin, let's go over some quick webinar courtesy rules. During Scott's presentation, feel free to post relevant questions in the chat box, which is located at the lower right-hand corner of your screen. When Scott finishes his presentation, he'll address your questions in a Q&A session, as time allows. Also, just to let you know, this session will be recorded and available on your website in the next few days. We'll send an announcement about this in our next newsletter, so if you haven't done so already, please feel free to sign up for a newsletter through our Facebook website, and make sure to allow us not to get into your spam folder. Okay, let's move on and review today's agenda. We'll start off by reviewing why every entrepreneur and small business owner needs an elevator pitch. We'll review sample pitches, both good and not so good, and also discuss some elements of creating a great elevator pitch. We'll end by going over Green Business Owner's technique that you can use to create your own elevator pitch too. As I mentioned earlier, Scott Cooney will present today, and Scott is principal of greenbusinessowner.com and author of Build a Green Small Business. He has over 10 years of sustainable strategy and entrepreneurship experience and understands the wealth of opportunities available in the green economy for entrepreneurs at all levels. So without further ado, I'll hand it off to Scott.
Thank you, Nayeli. Welcome to all greenbusinessowner.com members who are on the call today, and also future members who are listening to this download through our website, through our streaming audio and video on our website, and through other channels. Welcome. We're very happy to have you guys. The elevator pitch. It's an interesting topic. Is it still relevant in the digital age when everything is done in quick apps, bumping cell phones together, and through digital media that flies at the speed of sound? Well, yes. The answer to this question is an absolute yes. The reasons that we'll give and the uses that our elevator pitch still has, we will go into here quickly. And basically just want to reiterate that what we're going to talk about is why you need an elevator pitch. We're going to give you a couple of samples, dissect the elements of good and bad elevator pitches, and then give you a couple of techniques for developing your own elevator pitch. So the first question, of course, and it's an easy one, is how many chances do you get to make a first impression? Now, obviously, you only get one, and this is part of the reason why you need an elevator pitch. Another part of it is the fact that the average person's attention span is very, very limited. As we talked about this digital age, everyone's attention span has come down sort of precipitously as we get more and more overstimulated. Depending on who you ask, by the way, the average person's attention span may run anywhere from 6 to 8 seconds. So with that in mind, an elevator pitch is extremely useful for a lot of different outlets. For trade shows, for example, if you're standing at a booth and talking about your product, you have someone's attention for a good 6 to 8 seconds before they start to tune out and look at the next booth. At business networking events, when you're meeting new people, similar kind of dynamic exists. Same thing with social gatherings, with hiring fairs, with media events, investor pitch events, and, in some cases, on a date. The key to the elevator pitch and why it's called an elevator pitch is that you have someone's focused attention. The elevator pitch myth comes from this story about basically waiting outside of an investor's office until the person comes out of their office and jumps into an elevator, where you jump into the elevator with them, and you have basically from the 6th floor down to the 1st floor to pitch your product or your service to this person and see if they want to invest. And that's the key. You have someone's very focused attention. There's no other distractions inside an elevator except to listen to you. So that's the key with the elevator pitch. The one major thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to feel pressure with this. People do want to know what you do. It's just up to you to make it interesting enough for them to keep their attention for the next 6 to 8 seconds, and then hopefully beyond that as you continue to wow them with your products and services. So keep in mind throughout this presentation 2 rules about elevator pitches. Rule number 1 is to always remember that what you do is interesting and important, okay? you have to believe this, because if you don't believe it, A, why are you doing it? And B, how can you possibly excite others and engage them around your product or service or company? Rule number 2 is that your elevator pitch is really not about making sales to the person you're talking to. How often do you actually hear someone else's elevator pitch and immediately buy what they're selling? Not very often. The main thing here is that if you come off a little bit too salesy, you will turn people off. So the beauty of this elevator pitch, especially for mission-driven companies like those who are members of greenbusinessowner.com, is that people will want to talk about you. They will want to refer their friends to you. They will want to repeat the pitch that you're giving them so that they can talk to their friends in an intelligent manner about cool companies that they have just learned about. In the age of social media, we call this retweeting, where basically if you send out a Twitter or a tweet, then other people can retweet you or what you said to their list of followers and friends. And this happens a lot with elevator pitches in the green business community. People hear a cool story and they want to repeat it. So we're going to run through several examples of good and bad elevator pitches in order to kind of dissect some of the elements of a good and a bad elevator pitch. Okay, so let's get into the elements of a great pitch. As we run through the elements of a great elevator pitch that you're going to want to surely incorporate into your own elevator pitch for your company, I'm going to be toggling back and forth between this presentation and a document that we wrote entitled Crafting an Effective Elevator Pitch for Your Green Business. This is an e-tool that exists on greenbusinessowner.com's website, where you can download this tool for free and use it with this presentation, with this video, in order to craft your effective elevator pitch. This is a sample of the kinds of tools that we create on greenbusinessowner.com, and the basic idea is these are do-it-yourself tools that allow you to leverage the power of sustainability to solve common business problems, in this case, PR. So I'm going to take you to page 4 of this document and show you that basically what we've done here is created some samples, fictitious examples, of good and not so good elevator pitches. And this is basically to allow us to dissect the elements of a good and not so good elevator pitch. Thanks for watching part 1 of the greenbusinessowner.com webinar entitled Crafting an Effective Elevator Pitch for Your Green Business. Parts 2 and 3 will continue. Part 2 will cover the elements of a great elevator pitch, and Part 3 will show you how to incorporate those elements into your company's elevator pitch. We hope you enjoy videos 2 and 3, which you can view on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/greenbusinessowner or on our homepage at greenbusinessowner.com.